Our sages teach us that the purest form of philanthropy is when the donor gives anonymously and the recipient is also anonymous. However, there's a corollary to this teaching. Our sages also teach us that we should be a model for others and that we should lead by example. And so on that basis, hoping that you will follow our example and the example of the previous recipients of this award, we are extremely thrilled and appreciative to receive the Barbara and Jerry Levin Visionary Award. First of all, we are flattered to be included with the other recipients of the award, Jerry and Barbara Levin, and Bill and Patty Gorelick. And I just want to digress for a second. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. So Nancy Kipnis, who's the daughter of Jerry and Barbara Levin, and Stacy Gorelick, who's the daughter-in-law of Bill and Patty, have really been with the day school, and without them there would be no day school. Nancy was the first president, and Patty and Stacy was the first fundraiser, and it has now been 12 years, and they work just as hard today as they did 12 years ago. Thank you. It also gives me a chance to talk about our day school. I hope you don't mind the infomercial I'm about to give you. Moreover, I was mentored many years ago to understand that whenever there's a Jewish gathering, whatever the reason, there has to be fundraising, or at least an awareness of fundraising. It's just part of our DNA. Eileen and I are here to tell you today that thanks to our head of school, Mariashi Groner, our outstanding and totally committed faculty, our development team, our PTO organization, our support staff, and all the officers and members of the Board of Trustees, the Charlotte Jewish Day School is, for its size, the best day school in the entire country. Our children are getting a fabulous secular education, which more than matches up with the private and public schools in Charlotte. Our children compete well with their peers in the private and public school system, and our children always come out at or near the top when they are tested against their peers, and young Zach is a great example of what our graduates accomplish once they leave here. Mariashi and her staff are innovative, they're progressive, and they're forward-thinking. For example, this year, as part of our ever-growing curriculum, an ever-changing curriculum, they have installed the most advanced global studies program available. And this has really opened up the eyes of our children to the world in which they live. Our children are taught to be curious and to think outside of the box. But best of all, our children are being given the basis of a moral compass which will serve them for a lifetime. Our children are happy, they're eager to come to school, as you can very well see, and they are excited with what each school year brings to them. Our children are also getting a fabulous background in Judaica. Now that doesn't mean that all of our graduates will be rabbis, nor is that the purpose of a school. But our graduates will leave here with the knowledge of Judaism that will give them comfort regardless of the environment they're in. I recently attended a bat mitzvah of one of the recent graduates in which the rabbi paid tribute to her day school education. Paraphrasing the rabbi, he said, "You have not been trained only to be a bat mitzvah. You have been taught what it means to be a young Jewish woman who will comfortably take her place in the Jewish community. This is what our day school is all about, and I could not think of a bigger compliment for our school." And now for the bad news. I recently spent some time on a website that concentrates on day school education. Unfortunately, I must report to you that I don't think there's a day school in the United States or Canada that does not operate at a deficit. It is just not possible to give the quality education which our children receive and keep the tuition affordable without running a deficit. And I can't emphasize how important it is that we keep our tuition affordable. That is something that Mariashi and the board struggle with on a daily basis. First, it's important that our tuition be kept affordable for our families that are here. They have mortgages, they have auto payments, they have all kinds of obligations, and they're operating in a very difficult economic time. Second, it is also important that our tuition be kept affordable because our school competes with both the public and private school sector. And for some of our families, where they send their children to school is strictly a matter of economics. Fortunately, here in Charlotte, we get significant support from our federation, for which our school is deeply, deeply appreciative. Our annual campaign is also a very essential source in closing the gap in our annual deficit. And all of you know how active our PTO is, always looking for new fundraising ideas. But none of that seems to be enough. And this is where all of us come in. It is critical that we, the grandparents of our students, support the day school to the greatest extent possible. Without the support of our grandparents, our day school cannot exist. Now, I realize that many of the grandparents gathered here today are already helping your children with tuition. Isn't that a no-brainer? Can any of us think of a better use of our funds than to make sure that our children get a day school education? And I urge you not to forget the day school once your grandchildren graduate. Please continue to keep the Charlotte Day School in your charitable thoughts. It is true that many of you support Jewish institutions in your own home cities, and I agree that that is certainly your first obligation. But we are here today to celebrate the accomplishments of these wonderful children at this very special school right here. This is only the beginning of your grandchildren's Jewish life. Statistically, study after study has established that our grandchildren who have received a day school education are more likely to be leaders in high school, Zach, on college campuses, your future, and in the community in which you will live. I am sure that intermarriage rates are lower, and I am sure that they are more likely to give their children a day school education, thus repeating the cycle that we're starting. What we are saying is this: it does not matter whether you live in Atlanta or Florida or up north or anywhere else outside of Charlotte. When you support the Charlotte Jewish Day School, you are providing for the future of Judaism. You are giving our Charlotte children a start, but where the children of Charlotte end up is anybody's guess. The point is that the Charlotte Day School is not only about Charlotte, it is about the future health, strength, and vibrancy of our people. There are many opportunities for your support, and please don't hesitate to contact Gail Osborne, our development director, or me. We are here to answer any questions you have. I was going to close with a confession, but they've already stolen our thunder. Our children did go to the preschool on Sardis, but their parents made choices for them which did not include the day school. However, that has not stopped Eileen and I from taking ownership of the school. We see the Charlotte Jewish Day School as the best opportunity to preserve our Jewish future, and we hope that you'll join us in this effort. Thank you.